In the previous session, we have seen some theoretical concepts about how to retrieve the data from the table, what are the table which we have created, what are the data is inserted, how we can actually see the data from the table. That's we have seen in previous session. Now in this session, we are going to see practically how we can actually see how to execute these queries and which will be helpful for us to understand more detail about this select statement. We do have this author table, which is we have already created. We have inserted some of the data in that, and now we wanted to see the value. So for that, what we can do, we can actually, when we are using this solution, SQL Server Management Studio, we can actually go through this, and we can just use select top 1,000 rows. This is one statement which gets automatically generated by the tool, and we can actually see the data out of this table. So this is automatically done by this tool, but we can write on our own query as well, where we can write this statement, which is select star from author table, which is we have created. And if you just try to execute this, you can see this all this data is getting displayed when we execute this query. So when we are using star operator here, you can see all these columns. Like, however, if there are any requirement, like we just wanted to see this first name and last name of this particular from this table, then how we can do that? We can just use select, then we can mention first name, comma, last name from author table. So this is something which is we can mention. If you try to run this statement, then you can just see this two statement which is there. So this way we can do. If there are hundreds of columns and we don't want to retrieve the data of all the hundreds columns, then just give some specific column names in this way, like separating it with the help of a comma. So that is something which is we can give. We have seen another concept of predicate or where condition, where suppose if you have these data and I just wanted to retrieve the data for this particular country, let's say for USA only, then how we can do that? So for this, we can just say select star from uh, author table, and we just need to write this where condition. So these are the keyword which will going to be fixed one, and then we can give some column name like where, then we can mention as USA. So I wanted to get the data of the country USA from the author table, and I wanted to select all the columns. Let's try to execute this. Now you can see when I give these values, so then this gives USA. This is one thing which is giving all this data. And suppose I just wanted to get these values like first name, last name, and email. These three columns I wanted to have it. Then I can just do like this, and then it will just give this statement. Now this is a operator which is here, which we have used equal to operator. Now let's try to see one example where we actually going to create one sales table where we can have some quantities related to have some data. So how we can do that? Just create a table sales. In this, I just wanted to have one salesperson as a varchar 20 character, quantity as let's say decimal, let's say 10, and I'm just trying to run this. Now, what I have done, I have just created one sales table. Now, if I try to select star from sales, I don't have any data in it because it is just an empty table, which is now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert some values in this sales table. For this, I'm going to write insert into sales, and I do have these columns, which is here, and quantity is another column, and values I am going to specify. The first I wanted to say, let's say ABC is the first sales number, any values I'm taking, and let's say 10, it's quantity. I'm just trying to insert it, one row getting affected. Now, a similar thing which I am going to do is for a sake of just understanding, I'm just adding this values, which is I'm just adding some random values here, which is I'm going to say let's 120, and I'm just now what I'm going to do is I'm just running this statement, and it will insert some 6 rows in this. Now what happen means if I just try to select star from cells now, I can get some values. Now, why I have done this? Like I wanted to show you the select statement with the where condition. Now, what I can do is I wanted to do is select star from cells where I just wanted to get red data, which is quantity is less than 100. So this is the operator I wanted to use it, and if I use this, then this is going to be like this. And suppose I say equal to 100, then also I can do this. So I get this additional 100 rows quantity record as well. So this is something which is we can do is, or if you wanted to see greater than equal to 100. So what are the quantities which are there? And if I just try to see, then what are the quantities which are more than or equal to 100, then it will show up all the records. So that is something which called as a predicate or a where condition, where we can use this less than equal to greater than equal to operator. So these are the operators which we can use in this select statement. So this is what I wanted to show you this in practically in this session. I hope you liked it.